Hi guys. Okay, you may have seen my collaged scrap paper phone book in previous videos, and I'm not going to do a flip through of it now because I've shown it. If you didn't see it, I'll put the link to that video down below. Now all it was I just glued all these tiny little stupid scraps over the course of a year down into a phone book. So at the end of each project or end of the week or day or whenever, all the stupid little scraps on my desk I just glued in to this phone book. And I've been using it for tags and journal cards and little notebooks and stuff like that. At the same time, I was also making a junk paper roll. And when I say junk papers, I mean, notes from the grandkids' school, or it could be a flyer that came in the mail. I can't even think of what papers are in there now. Some envelopes, brown paper bags from takeaway. I think I've got the tray liner from a McDonald's. If you eat in store, they put a paper tray liner on the tray. Bills, I don't know. I can't even remember. Anyway, if it was paper and it was junky, I glued it together. So what I did, started with just a cardboard tube. I think that was from like a cling wrap or aluminium foil roll or something like that. Just to get it started, just taped the first paper to the roll, just so that I could wind it. It was a little unruly at the beginning stages because it wanted to, unwind and unravel. But in the early stages, as I was winding it, I just had this clip that I would hold it together like that so it wouldn't unwind. As it got a little bit meatier, it becomes more manageable. And this is quite heavy. Now, all I did, as I had a junk paper, I just glued it to the end and kept gluing and rolling it up until it got quite big. Now, this kept getting lost in my room on my desk somewhere over the past year and a half. Found it again the other day, and I had received a happy mail, and I was gluing some of the brown packaging paper onto it. And I thought, I really want to measure this. So, stupidly, I started unwinding it and I measured it. Anyway, it was quite long, and I've added a little bit more to it from crap off my desk. And now it is 11 meters long. Now, if you're not familiar with metric, 11 meters. Okay, I should have done my conversions first because I'm really bad with imperial. 11 meters is around 12 yards. I may be wrong. You can convert it, but it's really crazy. Anyway, I'm going to sit here and cut it up. And this might be boring for you, but you can fast forward. At the very end, I'll do a quick show of each sheet anyway. So if you don't want to sit through the cutting. But I thought I'd sit here and cut a bit with you and just point out what stupid papers I've added to it. Okay. Also, if you make one of these, measure it as you go. Okay, so when I unraveled this, I started measuring from this end and just kept moving my ruler along. And it just creates this huge mound of papers on the desk and floor, and it's out of control. It becomes impossible to roll back up. So what I did once I measured it, to keep measuring it, actually this is what I suggest you do from the start. Okay, if you're interested in making one and you want to know how long it is as you go, this is what I suggest. When you start your roll and you start gluing your papers, so just say these are your first few papers, as you go, Okay, this is 30 centimeters. What I suggest, put a little line there, put that it's 30 centimeters, and put a little clip there, and then keep gluing to the end, on the end, and as you wind it and you glue more, you measure that, and if you had added a bit more up to here, then you would move your little clip, and you know that's now 60 centimeters, for example. So that's how I was measuring it once I had already unwound it. But if you do that from the start, it'll be a lot easier to measure than what I did. Okay, let me get started. Now, you may be just wondering what the best way to cut this is. I'm going to try with this little paper trimmer, because I don't want to pull out the big guillotine. I'm thinking this might be the easiest. Will it? Okay. I really wish this was on this side because I like to measure that way. Okay, I need some. Now, when I did mine, I started, you might see here, see how it's a little uneven as I rolled it? That's because as you add your junk papers, it gets a bit wider, narrow. It's hard to keep an exact width as you go. It's just because you add a bit, you might be a bit higher on one side. But I'm not concerned if, this bit is a bit more wider than, say, this bit, or vice versa. Because these are just going to go into junk journals anyway. So for me, it doesn't matter about being the exact paper size. Now, I did start it off roughly the length of a regular photocopy page. So since the length of the page is roughly correct, I'll just cut it. What's a regular photocopy page? About 21 centimeters, I think. Actually, this is one. So you can see mine's a little shorter, but it's about 21 centimeters this way. So I would just cut my pages to 21 centimeters, and wherever the cut falls, that's where it falls. Now, so if it fell here, I'll just cut it here. If it falls on an exact glue line, I might cut it a bit bigger or smaller, and that, because I can always add a bit to that page at a later stage. Now, this is so ridiculous, the papers I used in here. I actually can't remember what's further on in the roll, because this has been over the course of a year and a half. I've just been slowly adding to this. So I'm actually interested to see what I used. I'm just going to put a little bit of washi tape because I'm really blind. I'm just going to put a bit of washi tape at the 21 centimeter line, just so I don't have to keep trying to look at the numbers. Now let me just check that I'm on camera. I'm very close up, aren't I? That's okay. Let me squinch you down a little. Just have it close up so that you can see what's on the page. Okay, let me chop this baby. Now, I'd actually prefer to use my square ruler, but I've left it in the house anyway. Let's get cracking. So I might need to put it this way, I think. I know, it's crazy. Alrighty. Now this is a bank withdrawal slip. I don't even know if they use those anymore. Do they? Don't know. Okay, I'm just going to go this way. And I think I'll just cut it like that. Now my pages won't be square. I might have to move this, I think, but then I don't know if I'm on camera, do I? Just because this is rickety on there. Okay. I need a bigger craft mat. Okay. I'm just going to put some tape there so I know not to go past that. And there. Just so I know if I'm in frame. And there. Okay. Don't go past. Alrighty, let's get started. Let's chop this baby up. Now you're wondering, what the hell are you going to do with these pages? I originally thought of maybe jelly printing the whole roll. But then I thought, no. I don't know if I could stand unwinding and rolling a whole roll. I suppose I could cut it up and jelly print the pages. Now, see what I mean? It's not square because as I glue them, I'm not gluing along a straight line, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to chop, chop, chop and see how these babies turn out. Okay. Okay, so this is one page. This is McDonald's paper bag, security envelope, school note, bank withdrawal slip, some papers that my grandkids were painting in my craft room. And that's the back of it. Now, I can always, the back is a bit plain on this one, but I can always add some crap on top. And what am I going to do with these pages? To be honest, I think I'm just going to use them as journal pages, like that. But I'll cut them all up into sheets and then, I don't know, I can decide later as I use them. This is some sort of, I can't remember, some sort of application, a form. This was a McDonald's tray liner. You know that Monopoly game? Book page. I threw book page in here and there just to get rid of it. This is an instruction manual. You'll see assembly something. I can't remember what. It may have been a little portable barbecue or something. That's security envelope. See, I think they'll look super cute once they're folded. Okay. And like I said, you can always add to some of the pages, glue over certain bits that you don't like. Okay. Ah, yes, this is instruction manual for a little barbecue. Photo ID application, grandkids, painty papers, Sudoku. This was inside of a security envelope, which I thought was really nice pattern. Haven't seen that before. That's some more of that application. Some of the pages, like this application form, it was really big. So sometimes if I just needed to fill a gap, I put that in. I just think they're so cool. Look at this. See? Can you picture that in a journal? I just think they're so cool. And I just can't wait till I chop this whole thing and I've got this whole big roll of papers. Where can I put this? I've got no room on my desk because it's such a damn mess. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I've got to not be so... try and be so precise because it's not square anyway. Karen Munro, this is the the wrapping paper. You sent me that book the other day. If you're watching. Okay. What else? More barbecue manual, school kids note, book page. These are school kids notes as well. This yellow, pink, and that blue. They always print them on nice colourful paper. School note, more application book page, more of that instruction manual, inside envelope. What was this? I don't know, I think that was just junk mail. It was colourful, so I added it in there. Now, these are a bit curly, so what I'll do, I'll put a big heavy book on them at the end and then let them just sit overnight to flatten. Okay, more of the Happy Mail brown paper. So these, you can see a lot of the things are the same things I'm using for multiple pages. That's more of that barbecue instruction manual, school note, school note. Oh, this is, I've got just a book that after I paint, I brush my paintbrushes onto. So that's just like leftover paint. This is the McDonald's Monopoly game. You know, the tray liner from McDonald's. Just book page, school note. That bit's coming up a bit there, so I'll just glue that. I would try, if you're going to make your own junk paper roll, try not to use pages that are too thick, because as you roll it, those bits tend to come up. Oh my gosh, these are so random. Okay. Whoops. See, that bit's a bit thick. Okay, more of the McDonald's tray liner. Oh, if you're in America, if you hear us Aussies say Macca's, that's McDonald's. Still using the same papers at this stage. That's more paper out of my paint wipe-off book. Envelope. More of the Happy Mail wrapping. I think this was from a census. Okay. Look at this delicious pile of papers. Oh my gosh, I love it. I should have done this live so I could chat to you because it's a long project. See, these are the census papers. I think they look good. This is so hard to cut. Now, see this in a journal as a journal page? I think that would look lovely. See, this McDonald's Monopoly thing, it might not have been a tray liner. It may have been a poster or something. I can't remember. Or I might have more than one tray liner. I'm not sure. That's some dictionary. This was out of a magazine, a travel magazine. These coloured papers, they're still the notes from school, either my grandkids or my nephew. This is an instruction manual out of one of my grandkids' games. I don't know what it was. But I just thought they looked pretty cool. So I think if you like junky journals, like true junk journals with junk papers, start up your own junk paper roll, because it doesn't take any time. Just have it at your desk, like, you know, put it aside on your desk, and whenever you get something in the junk mail, like junk mail or bits left over from a project, like this music paper would have been left over from something I was working on. I just think they make for really interesting pages. This is, what was this? I don't even know. Actually, it might have been something from the hardware. Yeah, I don't even remember. What are these pages? I have no idea. But see, look. It's also a good idea if, you know, if you're making a a really big journal. Sometimes you might have a children's book or something that you're reusing the cover to make a journal, and it's oversized, and you may not have pages that are big enough. So you can just piece together papers. You don't even have to do a roll. Just piece them together. I often piece papers together, little strips of coffee dyed paper and stuff, and sew them together for journals. This was more just junk papers, this roll. Because doing that, then you can make bigger papers. Okay, this was out of, I think my nephews gave me a bunch of their old school books. I think it might have been out of one of their maths workbooks. Yeah. School note. Little diary. I always pick up these little diaries if I see them at the op shop, and sometimes they have writing in them. Okay. More instruction manual. Okay, my pile of papers is getting unruly. Put them upside down. This is a different instruction manual. School note. Gosh, the schools waste so much paper. I don't know why they don't email notes. I email stuff out, or text message. Not sure what that is, but I think it's out of a magazine by the feel of it. I think the more I get towards the beginning of the roll, the more junky it was. I can't remember, although this is still pretty junky. Okay, I recognise that. That's out of a street directory. Word search game, dictionary, school notes. Some sort of application, Chinese paper, colouring in book. This one, it looks like I just stuck a whole page on the end. It looks like drop paper from me spraying something. I don't remember what though. it's actually quite hard to chop. Maybe I should have chopped it as I went instead of making this big roll, but I really wanted this big roll. I don't know why. It's so appealing to me. And I really love when there's a little bit of an overhang. This was a maths textbook. Oh, one of the old post office forms that they don't use anymore. And I've got these two huge boxes next to my desk on the floor, full of junk papers. It's ridiculous. If a paper comes into this house, it comes into my craft room. This is an old maths textbook, diary. These were some, I think, paint papers my sister had done years ago with my nieces. Oop, must have got rid of a whole bunch of small pieces there. Maths. These are, I've got a whole bunch of old notes and stuff from years ago when I used to tutor maths, physics, chemistry. Okay, this is the takeaway that was next to where the old reverse garbage, it's like a recycle center for creators, before they moved. That was the takeaway next to it. My sister and I would stop in there after we went to reverse garbage. This is the inside of a registered post envelope. This is part of a Sydney water bill. And any personal details like account numbers and names, I usually just scratch off with a marker or pen and then just glue something over it. Assembly instructions. That looks like a bit of a Target receipt. I try and avoid Target now that they went totally woke. Oh yeah, that's the Target receipt. Okay, this is where the papers start getting, as you cut them, they're really curly. I'm going to have to put a really heavy book on top. More school notes. Not sure what this was off. Looks like some sort of wrapping paper. Whoops. Okay, I've ripped that one. That's okay. I'll just trim that off. Oh my gosh, they're ridiculous. And if you do like crazy scrap paper projects like this, let me know. I would love to see if you've got a video. I would love to see them. Or if you're on Facebook, tag me in. I love seeing what other people do with their papers. I know some will paint them and do all sorts of creative things. I'm just going to be boring and use them in journals. Oops, didn't cut that one properly. That's the inside of a security envelope. Leftover painty tissue paper or napkin or something, it looks like. School assignment. This was out of a gardening book. Brown paper bag. I really like the inside of these registered post envelopes. I think the pattern's really nice. Leftover forms from the post office. Okay, now this is going back a while. This was when my son bought a bed quite a few years ago. These pages are out of control. Okay. Oh gosh, I wonder how long this video is. It's probably stopped recording. I know, still going. You've probably fallen asleep by now if you're still with me. These were notes. I think they were university notes from my daughter, and she studied veterinary science, and I think I coffee dyed a bunch of her old notes, and the ink ran, and they made these really nice patterns, so I've still been using them. That's some leftover napkin. Can't remember, I must have been spraying something, but there's also some sort of, I think this was from a course my husband took for work. I think these little bits of napkin was when I was pretending I could watercolor paint, and I was wiping my brush off onto a napkin. That's some sort of bill, more of that photocopy paper that had been printed on and the ink ran. Yeah, that's the bill there. Okay, I do remember this paper. This paper is kind of slippery, waxy or something. It's it was the wrapping paper around some big cards of lace that I bought at a recycle centre years ago. Now I don't actually like this piece being at the edge because it's quite thin. So what I'll eventually do, I'll cut this in half and then I'll add another piece of paper to the side so that this is in the middle, and I'll add another piece of paper to the other side. So I'll cut this in half, and the 2 strips I'll make 2 pages out of. Just because I don't like the thin paper on the edge because, I don't know, I feel like it'll rip. This is phone book. I think I've got an electricity bill or something down there, or gas bill. Under there. Application form. Red Rooster takeaway food bag. Get under. This was a page I was wiping off my brayer when I was jelly printing. Express post envelope, bit of stamp catalogue, another form, not sure what that's from. I did some pages sideways as well. Getting closer to the end. This will be a 10-hour video. Oh, I don't even know what these are. I think this is out of one of my eye drop packages. Some of the pages like that are a bit ugly, I might just paint over or jelly print over. Receipts, maths notes, security envelope, Red Rooster takeaway bag. Oh gosh. I should go this way, shouldn't I? So it's not so curly. Duh. You've probably been screaming that for the past hour. Yeah, see this page here? This is thin encyclopedia page, so I'll cut this in half as well, and I'll piece some paper on either side. Atlas. She's getting quite narrow now. Must have gone rogue for a while. Atlas. What is that? I think this is one of those things out of a Kinder Surprise. You know, the little instructions? Oh, we're nearly there. Gosh, I can't see what I'm doing. This looks like it's where I've been wiping my brayer off. These were some food colouring dyed pages I did a while back. Envelope. Stamp catalogue. This looks like some sort of junk mail. This was out of an art magazine. Woo woo, nearly there. Receipts, withdrawal slip for the bank, no idea what the rest are. And I'm at the beginning. And now I'll just start adding papers again and starting a new roll with that. Okay, I'm going to flatten these papers a little, and I'll come back and do a quick shuffle through so you can see my big pile of delicious, junky, crappy papers I've got. Okay, so I had these pages just sitting under a heavy book overnight. The pile is quite thick, so I probably should have, you know, had 2 or 3 smaller piles with a heavy book on top, because a few are still a bit curly. I just love how they came out. They're all just so random and junky. They're just so cool. See, this one, because it has the whole page practically, you could always cut it up and add to the 2 sections to make two pages, but I quite like it. I'm going to leave it like that. Anyway, if you watched while I was cutting them, you won't need to watch this again, but I do love I do love the instruction manuals in there. Like, they look so cool. I really love this McDonald's Monopoly game tray liner. Also, I really like the look of forms, application forms and stuff like that in there. These as well, you know, packaging from mail with the postage still on it. Would have been better if it had the postage stamps. Anyway, I probably don't need to go through them all, but I will. I just love them. I can't tell you how much I love these. Even random junk mail like this. I just think once you fold that up into a page in your journal, it just looks so cute. Sometimes if there was white on white, I just put a little bit of book page or something just to break it up a little. Or if there were hard corners that met, sometimes I'd put something there. That's a bit of a security envelope. This was out of a small street directory. I like the blue text. Oops, some of my cutting is wonky. You see the page go like that. But that's okay, because once you trim it down to size for your journals, see, that one's a lot smaller than, say, that. But once you trim it down to size for your journals, you know, if I had to trim this here, this little strip I can then add back onto my new roll that I'm starting and just keep it going. I like the drop papers and, you know, the papers that you put under pages or something that you're spraying. And I think on the next roll I'll do more sideways, you know, angles and stuff, because I really like that. So yeah, if it's paper, keep it. You'll find a use for it somewhere. These, I think as well, these would make really cool envelopes if you made envelopes out of them, because they're just so piecey. See, this one was an example where when I cut them, these two blue pieces, it was one page, and when I cut them, it almost filled a whole page. So I just cut that page in half, and then I just, I think I swapped them around or something. Anyway, that was my fun junk paper roll project. And like I said, I've got the roll that I'll just keep adding to, and these will go into my paper drawer for junk journals. I'll just use them as ordinary papers. Maybe make some envelopes out of some. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for sticking around. I know it was a long video, but I think it was fun. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.